Hello everybody, welcome to the LGBTQ Baha'i experience. Since the last video was posted on our YouTube channel, we've garnered almost 6,000 views for the video of Dan and Alexis Ware, and I think that's rather significant. And it's a positive sign that Baha'is are watching this, and possibly some non-Baha'is as well. And with that viewership, we've been receiving many questions, and Rich, my husband, has curated around 9 questions for me to answer. This is unscripted, this is very casual, and I think that's the most positive way to go about it, just a very unfiltered, me answering questions. And I also want to put it out there that I just speak for myself, I don't speak for the Baha'i faith, and I don't speak for all LGBTQ Baha'is. But oftentimes, most LGBTQ Baha'is also believe what I believe as far as where the faith is headed and the issues for LGBTQ Baha'is. Now, with that said, I'm going to answer the first question that Rich provided for me. And bear with me, I'm going to do my best, all right? Thank you. Question number 1. How can you be pro-LGBTQ when the law in the Aqdas clearly states that Baha'is cannot be openly LGBTQ or in a same-sex relationship? Well, the Aqdas does not say that you cannot be openly LGBTQ. It really doesn't even touch upon homosexuality. Baha'u'llah spoke about in the Aqdas pederasty, which in his time, of course, meant like pedophilia between an adult man and a young boy. He barely could utter that in the Aqdas. If you read the Kitabi Aqdas, you'll know what I'm talking about. That was later interpreted by the Guardian, Shoghi Effendi, to mean homosexuality, and even then that's open for debate since he never really finished the translation of the Kitabi Aqdas, and it was finished by a group of people, a committee, both the synopsis and codification in 73 and also the Aqdas and Kitabi Aqdas in 1993. So, there is some questions about that amongst not just LGBTQ Baha'is, but also many non-LGBTQ Baha'is as well. Now when it comes to a relationship, yes, technically right now in the Baha'i faith, same-sex couples are not permitted to declare their belief in the Baha'i faith. As of recent guidance, it suggests that they could be friends of the faith, which means they can go to some Baha'i functions and be involved in the institute process and in Ruhi. And I honestly just don't know many LGBTQ people who would feel like that's welcoming. But yeah, if you're in a same-sex relationship in the Baha'i faith, you have to do it very low-key. You can't tell anybody in the Baha'i community. It's like living a double life. If people find out, there are ramifications possibly, and you could lose your administrative rights, which is really heavy because it means you can't donate to the Baha'i Fund, go on pilgrimage, or attend the 19-day feast. So there's that for question number 1. I hope I answered that for the viewer who sent that question. Question number 2. If I declare as a Baha'i, will my spouse and children be accepted in the Baha'i community? Well, that sort of piggybacks on question number 1. As of now in the U.S., and I would say most of the Baha'i world, the guidance is that same-sex couples cannot become Baha'is technically. They can just sort of be friends of the faith. Their children would, I'm sure, be accepted in children's classes. I can't see why not. Baha'is are generally very loving, and I can't imagine that they wouldn't be. But again, it just goes back to question number 1. I just don't know how it's going to be possible for a same-sex couple to be actively involved in the Baha'i religion as Baha'is. And I don't know many who would want to be a Baha'i, not a Baha'i, and just sort of be friends of the faith. I think there's many other churches that they would feel more welcomed in. All right, question number 3. Can Baha'is support or be active in Pride events? Well, I don't see why not. I know there is guidance, at least for the American Baha'i communities, that it's a very neutral stand that we're asked, or I should say, the Baha'is are asked to take, which is not be supportive of LGBTQ community and not be actively opposed to it. And I'm paraphrasing. So I think that's up to the individual. And I do know of LGBTQ Baha'is who have been in Pride events and their local spiritual assembly or their auxiliary board member got wind of it and they have been counseled for it. So I do think it depends on which community you live in, how they're going to tackle that. But you know what? I'm telling you, if you are LGBTQ Baha'i or an ally, I think it's awesome. And I think you should attend Pride events. And I think you should have a rainbow 9-pointed star t-shirt or a banner. I'm that kind of gay person, all right? So yeah, you should be active in that. You know what? I just want to put it on record that anytime I go to a Pride event in the past 20 years, you're seeing more and more religious groups in attendance in the parades with their booths on multiple Christian denominations, Jewish groups, Buddhist groups, all sorts of different New Age groups, Unitarians, you name it, they're there. And also all the support groups from, like, say, Affirmation for the LDS community, also Catholic groups. So, you know what? I think it's about time the Baha'is step it up and also say, hey, we love everybody unconditionally. All right, now to the next question. Question number 4. Will you be interviewing lesbians or transgender Baha'is? Absolutely. That has been my goal since day one when this initially was a documentary. I want to have everybody represented. All LGBTQ plus I want to have represented. I already have in the can about 5 interviews that are not transgender or lesbian. I want to get those finished first and have them on the YouTube channel. But before the pandemic, I had a lesbian and a transgender Baha'i lined up to be interviewed. And of course, I will be reaching out to them to see if they still want to participate. And also, this is sort of a calling call, you know, a call for lesbians and transgender Baha'is to reach out who want to be interviewed. Their experiences need to be shared because oftentimes they could be a little bit different than that of a, you know, a cisgendered heterosexual, homosexual, I'm sorry, homosexual Baha'i. Yeah. As I said, we're just going to roll with this and it's going to be casual. So yes, there's going to be little errors and I'm going to misspeak once in a while. That's just how it's going to be. Question number 5. I heard Shoghi Effendi was gay. Is that true? Okay, Shoghi Effendi was the first and only guardian of the Baha'i faith. He's a very important and very special, dignified figure within the Baha'i faith. I'm not one to use this platform. I'm not going to use this platform as a platform for speculation about who was gay in the Baha'i faith and who wasn't gay. There is no definitive evidence that Shoghi Effendi was gay. He was friends with Baha'is who were openly gay at the time. So to me and other LGBTQ Baha'is, that tells us that he was loving and accepting towards those who were gay, such as Alan B. Locke, father of the Harlem Renaissance. He's an example of an openly gay Baha'i who's a huge luminary in the faith as well as in the African American community. But other than that, I don't speculate. You know, and I think we have to be cautious and guarded about rumors and speculation. And I just want to be positive as much as possible, and I hope everyone respects that. That's a good question, though. I mean, it's been out there, and yeah, I won't touch upon that any further. Question number 6. Do you think your YouTube channel puts the faith in a bad light? Jeez, that's heavy. No, I don't believe it puts the faith in a bad light. It just is focusing on a very sensitive issue that has not really been discussed in the larger Baha'i community. LGBTQ people are a part of humanity, and the faith wants to unite all of humanity, and there's a portion of humanity that's not accepted in this religion, and I think that puts the Baha'i faith in a bad light in itself. So as Baha'is, you got to ask yourselves, how you could justify homophobic mindset within your communities, or, it just, I honestly want to move forward with this project and be as balanced as possible. I don't want to attack the faith, and if these videos come off to some of you as me attacking the faith, then that's on you. That really is, because, I love this religion. And it's worth fighting for, so. I'm sorry. I'm not an enemy to the Baha'i faith. And those who know me and know my history, I'm not an enemy. A lot of things have been said, so, sorry, I'm emotional, but this is what you get, it's unscripted. And bear with me, like I said. And I wasn't expecting that question. Question number 7. My daughter came out as a lesbian. How can I show my support? Well, through 20 years, I've had similar questions. Over 20 years, I should say. I've had similar questions about how Baha'i parents can accept their LGBTQ Baha'i children. And I want you to love your children without hesitation. I want you to love them unconditionally. And I believe that is the Baha'i spirit, is love. And the bedrock of humanity is the family, and family unity is huge in the Baha'i faith. And to maintain family unity, it means you should love your LGBTQ child. You should love your lesbian daughter. You should give them their space. You should let them independently investigate their own truth, as we are asked to do in the Baha'i writings. Just be decent. You may not understand why people are the way they are. You may not understand the LGBTQ community. You may not understand why somebody is same-sex attracted, but this is their life. Let them be authentic. Give them a safe place to live. A lot of LGBTQ teens are kicked out of their house and are homeless. Don't make your daughter a statistic because you have such a orthodox or conservative take on the Baha'i faith. It's not worth it, and I think there are spiritual consequences when you don't accept your children for who they are. I could safely say that. That's just my gut. My soul says that, and I speak from my soul. I try to from my heart. So love your daughter. Don't pressure her to go to Baha'i events. Just be a decent parent. Question number 8. Do you think the Universal House of Justice is aware of what you're doing? Yes, absolutely. I'm on the radar, and I have been for a long time because I'm outspoken. They know me probably by first name. Actually, I know they know me by first name. They're very aware. I've been in communication with them on and off for over 20 years. And yeah, they know of this, they know of my travels to Haifa and Akka, with my parents on their 3-day pilgrimage. I just want to tell them that they need to look at this issue a little bit more deeper. If that means they need more assistance, they need more facts, they need more guidance from LGBTQ people, you know what? I'm all here. I'm here. You know, others are here. We will assist them to make the Baha'i faith more welcoming. You know, there's a lot of Baha'is in the woodwork that are no longer active, academics, physicians, doctors, scientists. They'll help them. This is a small religion, and I feel that it's like a large family. We'll help them to help move this faith forward in any way we can. That's how much a lot of us still care for the faith. Those who are left the faith like myself or others, you know, we will do what we can. So yeah, I know the house is aware of me and of this channel. And that's good, you know. Anyways, like I said, I'm here for them. I love them. I'm not their enemy. You know, I might be critical of them, but you have to understand where I'm coming from. You know, a lot of us are going to be critical of the Baha'i administration, but with my platform, I want to do it in the most balanced way possible because I want to reiterate, I'm not an enemy. I love this faith. This isn't what I anticipated as a child would happen to me, you know, in my life. You know, I always envisioned myself being very active and engaged in the Baha'i community, being in leadership positions and bringing people into this beautiful religion. And, you know, life happens. And I discovered at a young age I was same-sex attracted, and, you know, it's all history from there. But, yeah, so next question. Final question, question number 9, and I think it's really cute that Rich asked or put forward 9 questions. He said there was a lot more questions, so hopefully there will be more Q&As. And question number 9, the last question. Do you think your YouTube channel will affect how the Universal House of Justice views this subject? Okay, well that sort of, again, piggybacks on question number 8. I don't know if by doing this channel that the House of Justice feels compelled to take a different look or a fresh approach to homosexuality or same-sex attracted individuals. I'm not a cocky person and saying, oh yeah, I know it will, you know, they're going to watch these videos and they're going to change the law or look at things differently. But, you know, I am connected, and I do get little birdies, you know, in my ear telling me things from, you know, the higher institutions here and there. So, yeah, I've heard, if anything, I've heard recently that they are looking over the Guardian's letters by his secretary on this subject. So that tells me maybe they are looking at this in a new light, but I've heard rumors a long time, and again, I don't like speculation and rumors, but, you know, back to the question, do you think that your YouTube channel will affect how the Universal House of Justice views this subject? Ultimately, yeah, that would be great. That would be awesome if these videos have a ripple effect that just at the very least cause a dialogue. That's a good start. A good, healthy dialogue is a good start. You know, that doesn't mean that the law is going to be reinterpreted or it's going to be nullified or frozen. I mean, you know, I would, as a gay man, you know, my suggestion, if they're listening, is to freeze the application of the Baha'i law against same-sex relationships. You know, that's Sean speaking for Sean. That would be, I think, ideal. You know, I don't know why, you know, certain Baha'i laws in the Octus are not implemented yet, and I feel like this one was prematurely maybe implemented in a time where they really did not understand the nuances of being LGBTQ. And, you know, they conflated, you know, homosexuality with pedophilia and mental illness. Baha'is in the past were asked to marry an opposite gender spouse for the good of the faith, and there's been nothing but mostly horrible consequences for that, ending in a divorce and hurt and anguish, and get children involved. Just like the Dan and Alexis Ware story, it's just that kind of guidance is harmful. And other Baha'is went through reparative therapy, which the Baha'i faith, at least in the U.S. and Canada, openly supported. With North, a reparative therapy organization that we had official representatives go to their conferences. I know Baha'is who went through shock therapy in the 1960s. I know numerous Baha'is who have committed suicide and are still committing suicide. So that needs to be remedied. And I feel that the House needs to really honestly look at the mental well-being and the safety of LGBTQ Baha'is in their communities. So I feel that, if anything, hopefully this starts a good conversation and dialogue within the Baha'i faith at large, and that the House and their representatives, counselors, and auxiliary board members are watching these videos with an open mind and an open heart, and realize that I come from a place of love and care. And I can't reiterate that enough. I'm not an enemy. I love you guys, and we all can do better, right? We all have tests, and and I feel that this topic is a test for the Baha'i faith, for the Universal House of Justice. And to me, that's not an arrogant thing to say, is we all have tests. I have tests. We all have tests. Individually, the House of Justice members have tests. We all have biases. I have my biases. They have their biases. It says when they all meet, all 9 of them together, they are in communion with a higher power in their decision-making process. And after maybe watching these videos, I hope they pray on this and reflect on maybe some of what I've said and take it to heart. I'm a guy that loves this religion, that feels like he was pushed out of this religion, and we got to move forward in the 21st century. LGBTQ people aren't going anywhere, and if we're going to unite all of humanity, under the banner of unity and diversity, that includes LGBTQ people, and we should not ask them to live double lives or just be friends of the faith. That just doesn't suffice. It just rings hollow to me and many other LGBTQ people. That's the final question, and I hope I didn't rush through these too quickly. This is something that's new, and I like this format, as far as just being casual and unscripted, and I look forward to doing more Q&As, because from what I gather, there's a lot more questions that are very interesting. And but the next video, just so everyone knows, will be an interview of Daniel Clark Ori, an American Baha'i who now resides in Brazil. And so I believe between each interview will be Q&As, because of how many questions we're getting, and it's actually kind of shocking, to see. And it's actually beautiful, because it means that people are talking and are taking this seriously, as serious as we as LGBTQ Baha'is take this topic. And with that, I wish everybody peace and love. Yeah, sorry I get emotional, but love everybody. And we'll get through this. I'll get through this. And, it's okay to show emotion, and this is heavy. And I'm an emotional person, so, if you don't like it, fine, I don't care. But that's who I am, And, you know, things need to be out in the open. And this is a way to put things out there. And I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.